I like watches. Yes, I do. I like watches. How about you? Hey, everybody, my name is Anthony. You're in my office. I'm a pastor of a church in Middle Georgia, but I really do like watches. Now, I'm new to the collecting phase of it all, but I've always liked nicer watches going back into the early 90s when my wife bought my first nice watch, and that was a SEMA. So since then, I've always loved watches, just haven't been able to afford ones that I might really, really want, those Grail watches, and I'm still working on it. But I like affordable watches, and I like watches that I can trade around and I can keep and not be too upset if I get one and it isn't exactly what I thought it would be. However, there is a brand that I have been really, really, really wanting to see in person, but there have been none around me that I could view. And I wanted to hold it, look at it, touch it, see what the deal of it was. And that is a deep blue. So I went to Facebook on one of the groups that I'm in and asked, hey, you guys trust me enough? Can you send me a deep blue watch for me to review? I'll make a video of it. And then, of course, I got, well, you're not a big YouTuber. And they laughed me off. But except for one. And I'll just give a shout out to him. His name's Aaron. Aaron, another pastor friend, sent me a deep blue in salmon color, not in salmon fish, but a salmon dialed deep blue jug, as they call it. And we're going to look at that today in comparison to some other watches like Orient and Seiko and Spinnaker and see how it compares. And so if you know these other brands, but you've never had in your hand a deep blue, now you may get a better idea about what it's like. So thank you, Aaron, for the watch. I will send it back very soon. But for the rest of you, stay tuned and let's take a look at these watches. All right, so here we go. We have 5 watches that are laid out. All of these belong to me. They're in my personal collection and rotation. On the far left, we have probably one that many of you have seen, and it's not a Rolex. It is a Pagani design. It's a Pagani design GMT that looks like the Rolex GMT too, and it needs to be put up there where that's supposed to be. There we go. And it's a nice watch, believe it or not, and I wear it quite often. Then is one of my all-time favorites is my Seiko 5, our Dress KX as people often call it. I think it is a beautiful watch. It reminds me of one of my Grail watches, which is the Black Bay 41. And if you were to put these two watches side by side, you would definitely see a strong similarity. Then to this one, which is a Zelos, and this is, as you can see, a black tip, and it says it right there. But this is one of my favorite watches, and it does work. Screw down crown, and just needs a little bit of winding, and it will get going. There we go. But this is a very special watch because this one I got from Dave on Just the Watch. He did a review on this actual watch, and now I can always go back and watch TV and watch YouTube and say, hey, there's my watch. But anyway, this is a great watch, and I like it very much. Then a classic, a recent classic you might say, is the Orient Kamasu in blue. And this is considered one of the top, if not the top for the longest, $200 or less dive watch out there. And one of the reasons, let me wash some fingerprints off. One of the reasons is definitely the dial. The dial on this watch is just fantastic. but it has 200 meters of water resistance. It is a very solid watch, good feel to it, good finishing where there's no fingerprints. And in this case, though, I do not have a standard bracelet on it. I have a strap code, which is an excellent bracelet. Bracelet itself costs almost as much as the watch did. Then lastly, I have a Spinnaker Fluce. The main reason I got this one is because of the dial. It is a beautiful watch. It's not for everybody. It has an NH35 in the back and waterproof or water resistant leather. I think it's a nice band, and it's signed on the tang, and then it's got signed screw down bezel. Just a really pretty watch and very well built. So these are the ones that I have to compare with when it comes to the one I'm about to show you. And again, this is a deep blue, and it is, as written on the box, it is a salmon dial jug 5. And this is the box on the front. Sorry about that. Get back out here where you can see it better. There we go. And one of the things about this watch that I really did like was the packaging, because it came in this little container. All right. And what was really nice about it, being here nice and protected, was behind this little piece of foam are a lot of little goodies. Okay. Check that out. And so it looks like they put a little bit of effort in just the packaging and what they give to you, which is, you know, adds perceived value. Now, here we go. The final thing is the watch. Now, this is a deep blue with the salmon dial. Now, quite honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of salmon. I like salmon fish when it is cooked right and all that. But as a color, it's not my favorite choice when it comes to a dial, even though it's pretty popular now. Popular. And I'm a speaker for my living. But when I received this and opened it up and picked it up out of the packaging, I was really impressed with what I found. What I expected, because of the low price, what I expected was something that was light, something that felt flimsy, something that just did not have the feel or appearance of something solid and capable. I was completely wrong when I picked this up. This watch, although it is completely brushed, finished, although it is very plain in some aspects, it is definitely a chunk of metal. I would say this watch weighs as much as 2 of these other watches I've got, or at least almost. It is a heavy darn watch. But when you look at the thickness of it and you think about what it offers, let's see how many. Let's look and see what it says up close if I can get up there. Yeah, 300 meters of water resistance, 1,000 feet. And this is the Juggernaut 5, or Juggernaut. I really do think it's a beautiful watch. And I don't know anything about the customer service. People have said yay and nay about that. I've got more nays than yay. But as opposed, just, you know, if that's the only negative, then that's not really much to complain about if you consider the watch itself is a nice watch. And the thing about Deep Blue that I've noticed is that they have a plethora of dial options, and they're always coming out with new ones. But as you can see, this is brushed. The bezel has got good action on it. not the best, but it's good, it's solid, it's precise, there's no back play in it. And it's got the pip up top is loomed, and I believe all the numbers are loomed too. I haven't done a loom shot on it. You got a helium escape valve there, and on the back, of course, you see it's got a signed rotor, but I believe that's an NH35 in it. No, it's not. It's the Miyota. Sorry, Miyota SW 200. Am I right? Wrong there? Sapphire, and it's really nice. So guys, I really, those of you who are watching, I hope that this is a little beneficial, because when you look at it, let's compare it to the Zealous. Let me back off the camera a little bit here. No, it's that way. You're not going to get with the Deep Blue the finishing that you're going to find on something like the Zealous. However, it is what it is. This is not a watch that's meant to be from what I gather, it's not meant to be something that is stared out for its finishing, but it is supposed to be stared at for the dial and the fact that you can actually take it out diving and not worry about it. It is so heavy though. if you do not like heavy watches, then you're out of luck. Compared to the Kamasu, notice that the dial on the Deep Blue is not as wide as it might appear. The diameter, it is enhanced by the chapter ring. So, but when it comes to looks, it's still not bad and easily readable. I would prefer that the indices be a little bit larger, because if you look at the Seiko, notice how the indices are a little bit more, they're just maybe they're not even larger, maybe it's the size of the dial, but it seems like they take up more presence. And I've noticed some dials on watches where the indices are just small. Matter of fact, if you compare the Tudor 36 compared to the Tudor Black Bay 41, I think the 36 looks better dial-wise, because the indices look larger on the dial. Although it would be too small of a watch for me, because I have a 7.5-inch wrist and it just looks like a baby. But I would say, if you have any question, I think that this is a solid enough watch to recommend, and I will probably buy one, just not Salmon. So there you go, Deep Blue. So there you have it. That's my first review of watches on YouTube. If you like this and you'd like to see more, as they always say, click the like button, hit the little bell so that you can be notified whenever a new video comes out. And I may have to start a whole new channel if you actually like these things, because some of you may not want to hear or receive notifications of sermons that I preach. But on the other hand, I'm an expositimer. I'm a preacher. I exposit the word and enjoy the watches. So let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about the Deep Blue watches or anything else that I said. And check in next time. We may have another review coming up. Who knows?